got written up at my old job, and it's not for what you think. 3 years ago, I used to work at a different grocery store that I'm gonna call Carnival Provisions. At Carnival Provisions, I was a stocker, specifically for all the ambient food, which is basically stuff that doesn't need a cooler or a freezer. And I had been working there for about a month or so when I got pulled into the manager's office. My manager was a bald-headed old crow of a man who was very strict, very rude, and constantly changed the rules I was to follow for being a stalker, but I digress. Anyways, he takes me into his office, sits me down, and I ask what all this is about. He then tells me that Carnival Provisions watches the time clock very closely, and he had noticed that I had taken a 16-minute break instead of a 15-minute break. Carnival Provisions is the type of place that tracks everything you do. So when you go on your 15-minute break, you clock it. When it stops, you clock it. And they watch the security footage hardcore. Now, I'm in my head thinking that I must have clocked out late by accident, or I had to wait for someone who was already at the time clock, and they had to do their thing before I could get to it. And I'm probably just going to be told to pack my stuff sooner to account for this, which honestly made a lot of sense to me. That's when, while I'm thinking this, my manager says this: "You did this on purpose. I know you did. You wasted time to get paid to do nothing. You committed time theft, which is fraud, and I could call the police and have them arrest you. Or I could fire you for this, or at the very least have you written up." What? I was sitting there in that plastic chair, absolutely dumbfounded. I was being accused of fraud for clocking out a minute late. Understandably, I tried to explain myself. Who wouldn't in that situation? My manager doesn't believe me, and then he calls a separate manager from an entirely different department, specifically the one that handles the security cameras, to come into the office. He then has a conversation with this guy talking about how I committed fraud and how I'm not admitting to it, and he's talking like I'm not literally a foot away. The different manager pulls up the security footage. And at this point, I am so out of it, I can't even say anything. My manager says that this video is going to be proof that I committed fraud. So the three of us stare at the security footage of the day I committed fraud and watch as I fall down the flight of stairs between the time clock and the break room, face first. This is the day that he was talking about? This is the day. This is the day that he was talking about, that he was accusing me of fucking time theft. The day I fell face first down the stairs. I had laid there for 30 seconds because I was having such a horrible day. I had fallen face first down our flight of stairs. And I was just so done. Oh my god! This was the problem day? There are no words for the level of emotions I was experiencing. I thought that this footage would at least clear my name. But you want to know what my manager did? Do you want to know what this old geezer did? He wrote me up! He wrote me up! This wrote me up for being 1 minute late to clocking out of my 15-minute break because I fell down the f***ing stairs. Suffices to say, I turned in my 2-week notice after that. And yeah.